Hey, Jai Gauranitai, 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 Jai Gauranitai. Hey, hey, Jai Nitai Gaur Hari Bhal, Hari Bhal, Hari Bhal, Hari Bhal, Nitai Gaur. Hiva Bahu Koti Chandra Dhire Vadera Bhava Vadera Dhala Dese Vanham Bhava Kore Jala Bhava Mala Kore Jala Shiva Sukha Hara Preme Gadya Hey Preme Hey Bhakti Vihora Dekhe Ghura Samphara Bhakti Hey Hey Vajaya Jaya Ghura Jandhe Aharodhike Soha Ghura Jandhe Hey Vajaya Jaya Ghura Jandhe Aharodhike Soha Ghura Jandhe Aharodhike Soha Jana Vedanta Vade Jagram Hadalova I Vedanta Vade Jagram Hadalova Gaurangaya Bhakti Sova Jagadhana Vandalova Hey, 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 Gaurangaya Bhakti Sova Jagadhana Vandalova Gaurangaya Bhakti Sova Jagadhana Vandalova Hey, 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 Jagadhana Hari 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 Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari 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 Gaura Nitai Gaur Hari 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 Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hey Nitai Gaur Hari Hari Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya Dhanam Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nityananda Gadadhar Sivasari Jai Sri Krishna Jai Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Chaitanyam Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Jai Sri Krishna Jai Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Nanda Gadadhar Sivasari Jai Sri Krishna Jai Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Chaitanya Chaitanyam Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hey Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Help Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare ho 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 ho. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, hey. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hey Krishna, Hare Ram, Hey Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hey Gautam, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, hey Krishna Krishna, Gauranga, hey Gaurangam, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hey, 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 hey. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga, hey Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh ho 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 ho, hey. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hop 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 hop. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh ho 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 ho. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh ho 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 ho. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Gauranga, Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Nitai Gaur. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Nitai Gaur. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur. And Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Hop, hop, hop. Hop, 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 hop. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Deva Prabhupada ki, Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki. Nitai, 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 go to Premanande.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya, Ashtotara Shatashishimad, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya, Ashtotara Shatashishimad, His Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. ISKCON Founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada ki. Prense Kaho, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shrivash Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath, Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhana ki. Sri Vrndavan Mathura Dhama ki. Sri Majapur Navadvip Dhama ki. Purushottam Kshetra Sri Jagannath Puri Dhama ki. Ganga Mayi Yamuna Mai ki. Bhakti Devi Shrimati Tulsi Maharani ki. Their most beautiful lordship Shishi Kishore Kishori ki. Paramakaruna, their most merciful lordship Shishi Gauranitai ki. Their most merciful lordship Shri Jagannath Sri Baladev Shrimati Shubhadra Maharani ki. Sri Harinam Sankirtan Jagya ki. Srila Rupa Goswami ki. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Shishiguru and Shigoranga. Shivam, Prabhu? Shivam.
Namaste Narashinhaya Prahlada Ladadayana Pralada Lada Dayine Kashi Purvaksha Shilatankana Kalaya Nito Nashima Bharato Nashima Nashima Bharata Nashima Yata Yata Yamitata Nashima Bhare Nashima Hridaya Nashima Narashinghamadim Sharanam Prabhadye Narashinghamadim Sharanam Prabhadye Tava Kara Kamalavade Nakama Buddha Shringha Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Kanu Bringha Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Tava Kara Kamalavade Nakama Duta Shringa Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Keshavadita Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Nishingadev Bhagavan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for coming to the kickoff of this weekend's seminar, Demons of Vrndavan, or Removing the Anarthas. led and facilitated by His Holiness Candramauli Maharaj. Hari Bol! So, thank you very much, Maharaj, for coming back to Chicago. It always feels like ages, though you're so kind in giving us all your association. So, just a brief rundown of tonight's schedule. So, the introduction part of this seminar will go until about 8 o'clock, although we're running a little behind, so plus or minus 10 minutes or so, followed by light prasadam. We'll be served upstairs, Linda Mataji? Okay, more to develop on that. It'll most likely be upstairs. Also, just brief intro to Candramauli Maharaj. Okay.
Give me some water.
So Candramauli Maharaj used to be based in Chicago, though the larger world at large within ISKCON called him, so he's still kind enough to come back and spend time with all of us and give us his association. And it was a nice introduction as well to see him in kirtan and dancing, where I remember even several years ago. He could knock any of us on the dance floor with his energy. So thank you very much, and I'll turn it over to Maharaj.
Two different documents here. Let's see, the other one is here. So this is the other one. I think you should have enough easily. If you run out, come back.
Okay.
One each. One each for everybody.
Yeah.
It's too cold. For what? Water? Okay. Then my thermos is sitting in the desk area. Hare Krishna. So, because we're running a little behind time, we'll go right into the class and skip the kirtan. Okay. So what you're receiving, these handouts, is one is a diagram of the 4 categories of Anarthas and the 4 subcategories within the 4 categories. And you can see how each of the categories are listed and what is the subcategory. And then the other is Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur's from Bhajana Rahasya. It explains that these 4 categories of Anarthas are verses in the Shastras describing them, and the results of these 4 Anarthas, and ultimately we'll speak about what they are and ultimately how to overcome them. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gnajana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Staptitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadammayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Before we begin the seminar, Mother Vishaka, and she's sitting out in the lobby, she has a book table, and she is traveling around with the new film Hare Krishna, the mantra, the meaning, and the man who made it happen. And they're raising money in order for the promotion of the film, and it's a desperate need for Lakshmi at this point. So she's offering 2 books, both authored by her. One is her life story in Krishna consciousness, entitled 5 years and 11 months. And the other one is, okay, the other one is, I can't remember the title, but it's a beautiful book about the beautiful Saranagati community in Canada, along with an analogy of nature and its relationship to verses in the Bhagavad Gita. Mother Vishaka is a great author. She's joined the Hare Krishna movement in 1967, when we were not even thought of, most of us at that time. And also, she's also offering a t-shirt, and a beautiful t-shirt, and that describes a little bit about the movie. And the 2 books are together, are going for a donation of $25, and the t-shirt is for $20. Very high quality t-shirt. So before you leave, stop by the table and see what happens. Okay. Of course, we would like everyone to give generously. So this seminar is mostly 2 seminars that I pushed into one, because they overlap each other, and that is the demons of Vrndavan removing the Anarthas. Now, before we can understand more about this, we have to understand a little bit about the process of bhakti and how bhakti works. Bhakti is a science. And when you speak about science, you can speak about making an experiment to bring about a particular result of that experiment. Now, what makes the experiment successful is 2 things. One, the ingredients that go into the experiment and the laboratory conditions that are favorable for bringing the results. So this point is very important to understand. The ingredients are the instructions of the spiritual master coming from Krishna, based on the revealed scriptures, and the laboratory conditions is our mood. What is our mood? The proper mood of bhakti. And what is that mood? The mood of bhakti is trying to please Krishna. All activities in bhakti are meant for the pleasure of Krishna, for Krishna's pleasure. So if the ingredients are there, but the mood is there, it may take a long time, or may never happen. If the mood is there and the ingredients are not there, then that's just sentiment. So Prabhupada said, philosophy without religion is mental speculation, and religion without philosophy is sentiment or fanaticism, both. So bhakti is a science, and we get our science from Srila Rupa Goswami. And Srila Rupa Goswami is our Abhideya Acharya. That is, he has received the entire science of how to execute bhakti, along with the different stages of how one progresses through up to the goal. What is the goal? Prema Pumarta Mahan, that is to love Krishna, or is to awaken our natural love for Krishna. That is the goal of bhakti. There's no second goal. All activities are devoted to receiving the mercy of Krishna, and that way we can serve Krishna, please Krishna, and ultimately develop, or not only develop, but reveal our natural love for Krishna. To love Krishna is natural. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sarukabunai Sravanadi Siddhi Chitte Koriya Udai. This verse is from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke this verse. In the heart of all living entities, pure love for Krishna is there. It's just covered. Everyone loves Krishna. Eternally, naturally, ecstatically. To awaken that is the goal of the bhakti. And so Rupa Goswami, receiving this knowledge directly from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has written it down in Upadeshamrita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and also he's composed many verses in other books. And in one book, which is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he describes what are the 9 stages of bhakti. Bhakti has 9 steps, each one more progressive, coming closer to the goal of love of God. And it starts off with adaustrada, faith. One develops some faith. Oh, what is this devotional service? What is this Krishna conscious activity? One becomes attracted just by having a little faith that let me learn more about God or the activities in relationship to God. So that stage naturally leads to the next stage, which is association, sadhu sangha, to come into the association of devotees. So in the association of devotees, we get a feel for the process of bhakti. And then we also get attracted to that process, and then we develop a fixed determination to follow the process. So we get a taste. It's nice. I like it. It feels good. I'm feeling less miserable. I'm feeling more happy. In other words, and these people are nice. So as we associate and serve and practice the process, that develops into a strong sense of wanting to make this one's life goal. And that leads to the 3rd stage, which is called bhajana kriya. And bhajana kriya means to take shelter of Krishna's representative, the bona fide spiritual master. And then learn from the spiritual master, serve the spiritual master, and then eventually come to the stage of becoming initiated. And as Srila Prabhupada said, initiation means, who knows the next word? Initiation means beginning. So we're feeling to begin in the first 2 stages, we're getting a taste, and then initiation is actually the process of determined effort to become Krishna consciousness. So now we have everything's in place, the process, the spiritual master's guidance, and the association of Vaishnavas. But now we have to work through what is called Anarthas. Anarthas, the word artha means auspicious, or something desirable, something wonderful, something nice, something you want to have, artha. But then you put anartha means the opposite, something undesirable, something that blocks our, what we say, our relationship with God. So these anarthas are the next stage. The next stage is called anartha nivritti. Under the guidance of the spiritual master and with the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and the association of devotees, gradually we learn what are the anarthas and how to overcome them. Now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I'm just giving a little overview right now, explains that when 3/4 of the anarthas are destroyed, and you'll see there's a little chart here on the bottom of this one with the verses on it. Somehow I don't have one copy. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, I got one. You'll see that there are 4 categories of anarthas. The first category called bhakti, the second is sin and pious, and the third is aparad, which means offense. And you'll see we mentioned the different stages, shraddha, sadhu, sangha, bhajana, anartha nivritti. When 3/4 of the anarthas, one can move to the next stage, which is called nishtha. Nishtha means I'm fixed. I'm determined, I'm fixed in the process of Krishna. I'm not deviated. As long as the anarthas still remain within the heart, one cannot stay steady in the process of bhakti. One will go in and out, in and out. So then when one removes 3/4, then one becomes fixed. Once that fixation develops, then one comes to the next stage, which is called ruchi. Ruchi means sweet taste. Then one develops Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nasochati Nakankshati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Bad Bhakti Labhate Praram. That means that one is joyful, there's no hankering for material gain, no lamenting for material loss. One is equal to everyone. One sees everyone as Krishna's part and parcel, the stage of ruchi. When ruchi becomes mature, it becomes a shakti. A shakti means deep and strong attachment for Krishna. One cannot stop thinking of Krishna. And one is determined to serve Krishna 24 hours a day. From that stage comes bhava. Bhava means deep and loving affection for Krishna. And when that stage becomes fully matured, it reaches the goal, which is prema. And then in prema, there's 8 categories of love of God, up to the highest, which is called mahabhava, where one is exhibiting ecstatic symptoms constantly. So this is the process of bhakti. It's a great science. I'm just giving a little overview so you can get an idea what it is all about. Now, in order to get to the higher stages, we have to kick out those anarthas. And I'll mention what the anarthas are. You have your chart here with the 16 anarthas. You can see that. And the first one, which is bhakti, is also called misconceptions. Misconceptions means I don't know who I am. I think I'm this body. Or I think I'm something in relationship to this body. I'm American, I'm Polish, I'm Irish, I'm Italian, I'm black, I'm white, I'm American, I'm young, I'm old, I'm educated, I'm not educated, just put anything after I, and that's all false. It's all false. Why? Or we might say, to give a little concession, it's temporary. It's our identity in this world, which is temporary. Our real identity is that Jiver Sarupai Krishnera Dityadas. We are pure soul, part and parcel of Krishna. That's who we are. So when we don't know, at least theoretically, who we are, that is called an anartha. I think I'm this body. Or I think I'm this mind. The mind is also part of the body. It's the subtle part of the body, but it's still related to the body. I am what I think, right? I am what I think. No, because your mind's always changing anyway. So which one are you? The one you were yesterday or today or tomorrow? Or how you feel in this moment or how you feel the next? Which one is the real one? So these are just emotions and feelings which come to our association with this material energy, and they're constantly moving and changing. Something you are doesn't change. It only grows into realization of that identity, and that is, we're pure spirit soul. We also have emotions. We also have a mind. But that's a pure spiritual existence, not this temporary changing existence. So to understand who I am, or at least theoretically, I have a body, and I also use the body for different things, but I know this is not me. It's a covering, that's all. And if we get too much absorbed in the covering, we forget about who we actually are, and then we act on the false platform, and therefore we always struggle. We always struggle. Okay, so that's one of the misconceptions. The other one is not to know the identity of the Lord. And the Shastras, it teaches Krishna, what is that verse? Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karna Karnam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sri Krishna. He is the cause of all causes. There's no second. He is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has a transcendental form that is full of knowledge and bliss. And he is eternal. And everything that is in existence is coming from him. He is the original source. So when we know Krishna is the source of everything, and he's one without a second, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam Eko Bahuda Vidadanti Kama. There's no one equal to, no one greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the absolute truth. He is the source of everything. He is the cause of all causes. He is the purpose of every activity. Everything works under his direction. When you know that, at least theoretically, then you know the identity of God. So the scriptures, and you'll see especially Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains who he is. He's telling him, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. You can see me here, you can see me there. I'm the taste of water, I'm the light of the sun, I'm the syllable Om, I am the ability in all living beings. I am the source of everything. Nothing happens without me. I am the seed-giving father of all living entities. Constantly in Bhagavad Gita is always telling us who he is and how everything is a reflection of his energy, either spiritual or material. So that knowledge is fundamental to our practice of Krishna consciousness, just to know the nature of the absolute truth. So, and because we know who we are, then we know we have an eternal relationship with God, which is never broken but only forgotten. It's only forgotten, it's never broken. You can't break that relationship, it's not possible, because it's you. You can't be anything other than you. Sometimes even in the material world, we want to be somebody else, right? Oh, I want to be like that person. No, I'll tell you a little. Every position in the material world is taken. You can only be yourself. You can't be anyone else, because every other position is already taken. So we think of that in terms of our material identity, but in the spiritual world too, that identity is real and it's eternal. So that's who we are. So when we know, at least theoretically, who we are and who is God, then we destroy two of the anarthas of bhakti, or misconceptions. The next one is another misconception you'll see is I mix in different philosophies with bhakti, and I think they're also bhakti. In other words, not knowing the distinction between what is the process and philosophy that makes up bhakti, as opposed to what may enter into bhakti and look like bhakti. For instance, the idea that all souls are part of God, and therefore all souls are godly, therefore all souls are God. Sounds logical. No, you're right, it's not logical. All souls are part of God, a little fragmental energy of the absolute supreme source, but never the supreme source in itself. So there's a philosophy called Mayavad philosophy. Mayavad means because you are a pure spirit, you're also the supreme spirit. Like that. Or when Krishna comes to the material world, he takes on a material body, and therefore he is just like one of us. And that's another, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, fools deride me when I come in my transcendental nature. They do not know my supreme dominion over all that be, in my transcendental nature. So to somehow or other get confused and accept principles that are either material, philosophically different, or Mayavad, and mix it in with bhakti. So this takes a little bit of study, a little bit of hearing the philosophy to know what is bhakti and what is not bhakti, or what looks like bhakti. And we'll talk about that in relationship to killing demons. Because sometimes the demons disguise themselves as devotees. When Krishna was in Vrndavan, one demon took the form of a cowherd boy and was associating with the other cowherd boys. And then no one could recognize that cowherd boy except Krishna, because Krishna knows everything. He could see, but no one else could see. So in the same way, sometimes it's very misleading, I guess the word is misleading, to somehow see things that are not, they're actually not bhakti. So we have to hear regularly from the teachers, from the scriptures, and from, in general, read the books to understand what is bhakti and what is not bhakti. Another conception is, I perform bhakti in order to increase my material life. I want a good job, I want a good husband, I want a good wife, I want more money, I want all these things that everyone is chasing after. I don't want to work hard from it, I just want to pray hard for it. And I do a lot of puja to get it. Oh, Jaya Jagadish Hare Swami, Jaya Jagadish. Come on, Krishna. You're rich. Even if you give me $1 million, it's not a big thing for you. So, you know, and enters the mood of trying to bring in something material from the process of bhakti. So that's a misconception, or what we say, a deviation in the execution of bhakti. And the last one is to not know how sadhana bhakti works and how it leads to prema bhakti. And again, hearing from the scriptures, hearing from the spiritual teachers, learning the difference between what is material and what is spiritual. And we'll speak about that in relationship to the demons. Because the demons, especially the ones we'll talk about in relationship to Vrndavan, they also present spiritual topics in a material way. They disguise their insidious nature by looking like the real thing. So we'll talk about that also. So these are the four misconceptions. These are in the chart that you have there. It comes under the category of bhakti. Now you also see within your chart, you'll see these different stages: partial, pervasive, complete, almost complete, complete, and absolute. And what that means is that when one anartha is destroyed, that is called partial. When many are destroyed, that is called pervasive. When almost all of them are destroyed, that's called almost complete. When all of them are destroyed, that is called complete. But then there's another stage beyond that, that even though you reach complete, they can come back. They can come back again. So that's the next stage is called absolute. So on the absolute stage, the anartha is gone and it never returns. So you see in the process of bhakti that on bhajana kriya stage, it's partial, and on nishtha, it's complete, and on ruchi, it's absolutely gone. So that's the easiest ones to get rid of. These are the easiest ones. Okay, so then we'll go to the next set, which is sin and pious activities, and then I'll mention them. Now, I've been a devotee in my last life, or I'm a good person in this life. I give in charity. I do a lot of welfare work for others. I keep a nice family. I don't commit any sins. I don't harm anybody. I read the scriptures. I'm a very good person. That's called piety. Piety means punya. Punya means those activities that are morally accepted and bring about good material fortune. And what is that good material fortune? That I take a birth in a good family, pious family, I have good bodily features, I am intelligent, I can think clearly, I have a strong intelligence, and I also, what is the last one? I'm also materially well-to-do, good material opulences. I earn money really fast and easy. In other words, because of one's pious activities, either in this life or in previous life, one gets good material situations. Now, what does that do? That allows one to get what we call material happiness. Also, when it develops even more, one can develop mystic power. And at the end of this life, one can go back to the heavenly planets, Svargaloka, where life is 10,000 years compared to the 100 years on this planet, where longevity, good material situations, free from disease, wonderful. In other words, really, 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 really powerful sense gratification. It's mentioned in the Bhagavad. That's called Svargaloka, the higher planets. That's Indra's abode, like that. So one can achieve that, but the thing is, that's still in the material world. That's still in the material world. And as long as one is still under the influence of the material, Jai Shri Shri Kishore Kishori Ki Jai. As long as one is still in the material world, then one cannot ultimately come to the stage of bhakti. So this piety, it's good. And it leads to good situations. What means that when I have these material things, I don't have to worry about them. Now I can devote my life to Krishna consciousness. The problem is, now I want the results of my piety. I want to go to heaven. I want to be a powerful mystic. I want good sense gratification. And I even want liberation. I even want liberation. So these are called Anarthas. They're good, but they're only materially good. They're not spiritual. They're high material. Sometimes people think, oh, you know, why waste time worshiping God? I got everything material. Yeah, but you still have to die. You still have to grow old. You're going to get diseased. And you have to take birth again, which is not so nice. And so, and even then, no material situation is permanent. It can always change at any situation. Prabhupada used to say, even the rich man, he gets sick. He has to suffer material anxieties. So even if one is materially well off, it's still within the realm of material energy. So here, these are called anarthas that come by way of pious activities. And you can see on the chart that on Bhajana Kriya, they're almost complete. On Nishta, they're complete. And on Ashakti, when one becomes fully attached to Krishna, they're destroyed completely. Okay, now you'll see in the above part of this same page, you can see the stars that I've marked there. The 4 verses that describe these 4 categories of anartha. And so we went through the first one, which is bhakti, and then the second one, which is pious activities. So that's the second one down and the third one down. Now I'll go back to number 1, which is the first one in the list of verses. And these are what we call sinful activities. Now there's 4 categories of sinful activities, which is called 1, weakness of heart. I'm sorry, no, that's wrong. Let me see, where am I here? Okay, 4 kinds of attachment to objects not related to Krishna, that's the last one. Deceitfulness or fault finding, enviousness, and the desire for material fame. So these are sinful because they're against the process of bhakti and are also immoral. So attachment to objects not related to Krishna. I chant Hare Krishna, but I get high on LSD, Haribo, and it's really nice. I can really chant nicely there. Krishna killed one demon, and that demon represents that you can get your bliss higher from bhakti by taking intoxicants. The natural state of the living entity's relationship with Krishna doesn't need any artificial inducement. That comes, just the process of bhakti will elevate the consciousness to the higher stage. When Prabhupada was here in the beginning, what was he dealing with? He was dealing with all drug addicts, right? People were taking LSD and all kinds of, kinds of intoxicants, and illicit sex and everything. And he became popular amongst that group of people. And so those people were really attracted to Prabhupada. And when Prabhupada started to bring the Hare Krishna mantra in, people were chanting and dancing and feeling the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness through Harinam. And so one article came, chant Hare Krishna, stay high forever, never come down. The highest form of intoxication, the Hare Krishna mantra. Really. It'll take you so high that you won't even know where you are. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Krishna in sound, and Krishna, that's the absolute principle. Anandam Buddhi Vardadam. It's full of material, spiritual happiness. It doesn't have a trace of material happiness. And so one can get attached to things in this world that are against the process of bhakti. I just mentioned one, intoxicants. Another one is deceitfulness or fault finding. Presenting oneself in a certain way and trying to, but actually has another motive. I've come to bhakti, but I really come here to get a powerful position so I can control other people. Or I want to make a lot of money, so that's why. In other words, deceit. Deceit. What does deceit mean? What would be a good definition of deceit? Somebody. Trickery. Yeah. You're trying to present something that you're hiding from others, and you present yourself as something different. Or you use very certain language. My dear sir, you're very nice, you're very kind, you're very generous, I'm very poor, give me some money. Flattery, that comes by way of deceit, like that. So, deceitfulness and fault finding. To find fault with others is an anartha. People have faults. People have good qualities. So what do you do? When you see a fault, what do you do? Do you dwell on it, or do you broadcast it? No, a devotee doesn't see a fault in another, and if he does see a fault, or she sees a fault, he just pushes it aside. It's not so important. People have good qualities, people have faults. So we see, when we see faults, then we see the good qualities. You can't sometimes overlook the fact that there is a fault. But at the same time, if you dwell on it and you make it your business to broadcast it, or you become disturbed by it, then that becomes an element of an anartha. That blocks your Krishna consciousness. So Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said something very, very powerful. He said, if you want to get my mercy, or he said it in a different way, he said, I give my full mercy to everyone who chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and does not find fault with others. Does not find fault with others. So that's something we have to work on. Try to see the good in everyone. Everyone is good, but there may be something else. So push that aside. So don't find fault, don't broadcast faults. And the other one is enviousness. What is envy? Wow. We're going to speak about one demon tonight who is a personification of envy. His name is Kalia. I'll tell the story of Krishna not killing, he didn't kill Kalia, but he chastised him in such a way that all his envy was destroyed. And this envy is the cause of us coming to the material world. It starts with enviousness of Krishna. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Krishna is the supreme controller. Hey, man, I want that position too. But, you know, Krishna can do his thing, but I want my territory too. No. No, the idea, envy means I'm unhappy because you have something that I want. Or you're getting some attention and I want that attention. You're getting some position, I want that position. So this enviousness it goes pretty much deep. And that's why there's so many problems in the world. It's all based on envy. One nation is envious of another nation. The United States wants the oil in the Middle East, so they're envious of those people. They want to destroy them and get the oil. So that's a form that comes out in the form of war. So envy. Now I'll tell you a little definition of envy. If you hear this definition, you'll never be envious anymore. You ready? You're all listening, I hope. Okay. Now, we understand one thing, and this we understand, that whatever a person has, or whatever a person is somehow given by God. God has allowed that person to be something or have something, either through the material energy or the spiritual. And therefore, God is sanctioning that. So therefore, I don't like what God has given to another person or what he's not given with me. Therefore, my problem is not with the other person, it's with God. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's up there, but he blows it. He makes some mistakes sometimes. He's letting that person get all the attention. What about me? Come on, Krishna, get it right. Don't you know I sent my prayers in the other day and I gave you $108 with it. So the point is that our issue of enviousness comes back to the Supreme Lord, because he is allowing, he's not necessarily he's sanctioning it. It doesn't mean he wants it to happen, but that's the way his energy works. He allows things to happen. So because he's allowing things to happen, he is the source of whatever is happening in this world. So when we don't like that for whatever reason, because of our own situation, that is called envy, like that. And Prabhupada said, killing animals, that's also envious. That animal has a right to life. I destroy that right. I'm envious of that animal's right to exist. So violence is a form of envy. It's a very extreme form of envy, like that. Okay, and the last one, and this is the hardest one to get rid of, desire for fame. It's called pratishta. Pratishta means that I want to be honored, I want to be respected, I want to be. And people will do anything somehow to find some kind of position where they develop some influence, some power, some control, some adoration, like that. So, and therefore, why do I do that? Because I want to feel important. Just like sometimes we understand that people are very much after money, but even those who have a lot of money, it's not so much the money they want, it's the power that they get from having that money. The position, the followers, the adoration. When people speak, when I speak, people listen. It's a sense of exhilaration, happiness, power, feeling of importance, like that. And then when that gets on, and when people can't find that, then they'll do something to do that. They'll find something. Prabhupada said they'll even get a dog, so the dog pays attention to them. Somebody has to pay attention to me. Nobody else would, so at least I'll get a dog. So, some situation where I get some, what we say, adoration, distinction, profit, recognition, like that. If it comes naturally, that is not pratishta. But if you seek it, that is pratishta. It can come naturally by Krishna's arrangement. People get that, and that's not wrong to have it, but when you want it in order to enjoy from that, that is called pratishta, or desire for fame. And Bhakti Siddhanta really gives a really, I guess what would I say, a real nitty-gritty definition of pratishta. He says pratishta, the desire for material fame, is like the stool of a boar. Now what is a boar? A boar is a pig, right? It's a wild pig. It runs in the jungle, very fierce. So what do boars eat? Stool. And so what is the stool of a boar? It's recycled stool. Stool twice over. So that's pratishta, according to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So he gets right to the point. So how do you get rid of that desire? Glorify the devotees, glorify the Lord. We want to make the Lord famous. The word kirtan comes from the word kirti. The word kirti means, who knows? Fame. Kirti means fame. So when you're doing kirtan, you're spreading the fame of the all-famous Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the word. That's what kirtan means. You're glorifying that person who is famous, spreading his fame through chanting his holy name. But it has a second meaning. That means those who do kirtan also become famous because they're connected with the all-fame Supreme Personality of Godhead, like that. So that's the actual definition of the word kirtan. Pretty interesting, like that. So the devotees want to glorify the Lord. They want to serve the Lord. They want to serve the Vaishnavas. They want to glorify other Vaishnavas. They want to glorify the Lord. They want to glorify the pure devotees of the Lord. And this frees us from this personal desire for profit, adoration, distinction, which ultimately leads to more and more sense gratification and other forms also. And we'll talk about that. So that's the last of the sinful activities. Now the last one is aparad. You can see that one here, the last category. And you'll see this one seems to be the most severe category to remove. On bhajana kriya, it's partial. On nishta, it's pervasive. On bhava, all the way up to the bhava platform, it's almost complete. On prema, love of God, is complete. But only when one sees Krishna face to face can one be freed from the tendency to commit offenses. Wow, that's pretty heavy. So what does that say? that actually one has to be careful not to commit offenses. And then we see there's one verse. Which one is it? It's the one on the second column on the right. Krishna Nam Sarupesha Tadiya Chit Kaneshu Cha Ye Gyeya Buddha Guna Nityam Aparadas Chatur Vidha. Offenses towards the name, offenses towards the form of the Lord, offenses towards the devotees of the Lord, and offenses towards all other living entities are the four kinds of offenses. So these we have to carefully avoid. And then we recite the 10 offenses to the holy name every day. The offenses to the form of the Lord means the offenses in deity worship and temple activities. Offenses towards the Vaishnavas. There's 6 ways to offend a Vaishnava. And offenses to other living entities also, who are part and parcel of Krishna. So these are the 4 types of offenses. I could explain a little bit about each of them, but that would take such a long time. I'm just going to list them. But very carefully try to avoid offenses towards the Vaishnavas. That's the most severe form of offense. So how do we avoid that? By serving Vaishnavas. If we don't, now listen to this, if we don't actively try to serve the Vaishnavas, we will commit offenses against the Vaishnava. You might say, I don't commit offenses. You do unless you serve Vaishnavas. You have to serve Vaishnavas. Because Vaishnav Seva is higher than serving Krishna. If you want to go to the highest platform, Krishna says, he who says he's my devotee is not my devotee, but he who says he's a devotee of my devotee is actually my devotee. That's from the Adi Purana. So one wants to get the favor of the Lord, they actively try to serve the Vaishnavas. We think of ways to how to serve Vaishnavas. Giving gifts to Vaishnavas, being friendly to Vaishnavas, taking an interest in Vaishnavas and trying to help them, just associating with Vaishnava and inspiring them in Krishna consciousness, doing our service, cooking for the Vaishnavas, cleaning the temple. In other words, with that mentality in mind, I want to serve the Lord by serving the Lord's devotees. This is the highest form of service. And Krishna says that also. He acknowledges that. So by serving Vaishnavas, we can free ourselves from the tendency to commit offenses to the Vaishnava. We might say, well, I just serve my spiritual master and I serve the Lord, that's all. I don't serve anybody else. No. That means you'll never make progress and you'll always commit offenses because of the Vaishnavas. You have to begin serving Vaishnavas. You have to think of ways to serve the Vaishnavas. And in that way, you'll develop love for the Vaishnavas, and that love extends to your love for Krishna. Because when you love the Vaishnavas, it's actually because they're part of Krishna, then Krishna's love is available. So that's important to understand that. So therefore, one should very carefully avoid offenses to the Vaishnavas and other living entities too. Sometimes we think, oh, that person's not a devotee, he's just a rotten karmi, we don't care. No, that person has Krishna in their heart. They may not be performing devotional service, but still they're very dear to Krishna. Krishna is equally disposed to all living beings. He doesn't love one living entity more than another. And as a perfect father loves all the children, even the children who are slow and unintelligent, and even with the children that are intelligent and very, what we say, capable, the father loves all the children equally. Therefore, Krishna loves every living entity equally. But he shows favor to those who serve him. But his love is equal. He even loves the demons too. He loves them so much, he kills them. And that gets rid of their demoniac mentality, purifies them, and then they ultimately get liberation. So so Krishna deals with every living entity in a loving way. But that love will be manifested in different ways. Don't try to copy Krishna and kill the demons, because that'll be a problem. So it could be you might wind up with a little bit of a jail sentence. So, but the point is that, yeah, therefore one should, what is that verse? Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmani Gavi Hastini Suni Chaiva Swapake Cha Pandita Samadarshanaha. Krishna says, one who sees a Brahmin, a cow, a dog, a elephant, a dog eater with equal vision, samadarsha. Sama means equal, darshan means to see. Pandita, he's a great soul. In other words, one who sees in the heart of every living being, Krishna's there. Krishna's in the heart of every living being. So we should try to see like that. We should try to see that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. And therefore, everyone is worthy of respect. In different ways, of course. And there, also within the heart of that person, even though they're non-devotees, Krishna's there also. So in the heart of every living being, there's two souls. There's God and that living entity. So therefore, one does not cause any unnecessary difficulties to any living entity, knowing that in the heart is Krishna, like that. Prabhupada says, even unnecessarily killing insects. Devotee is so careful that they want to avoid even killing insects, because they know that in the heart Krishna is there, of that living entity. Wherever there's life, there's the soul, and whatever there's a soul, there's God. God is there. So therefore we should try to avoid offenses. And then you might question, wow, in other words, even on that platform of prema, how can one commit offenses? Well, we have the example of Jai and Vijay in the spiritual world. They committed offenses to the four Kumaras, and they had to fall to the material world. So we know that story from the Bhagavatam. I'll give you another story. There was a very wonderful Vaishnavi. Her name was Krishna Priya. And she was attached to chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. She could not stop. She was on a very high platform of love of God. She would chant always. And there was a great soul. His name was Rupa Kaviraj. He was a great soul also, and he was an orator of Bhagavatam. He would go and give wonderful Bhagavatam dissertations. And he was very elevated too. He was on the Bhava platform. So one day, he was giving a lecture, and Krishna Priya came to his class, and she sat there and she was chanting japa while he was talking. Now, he became a little unhappy, disturbed, and he turned his attention to her and said, "Oh, are you listening or you're chanting? How can you chant and also listen?" She didn't say anything. She remained quiet and she continued to chant. Why? Because she was absorbed in the holy name. He became angry and started to speak very harshly towards her. She remained humble and didn't respond. And then after the class, he became very angry. And then after some time, his material desires started to come back again. It says that when you are very high in the platform, you commit offenses. What happens? Those material desires that you left behind again start to come back. And that's what happened. And then he fell down because he committed an offense to this saintly lady. He committed an offense to her. So he was on a high platform. So unless one is on the highest platform, seeing Krishna face to face, possibility, not the likelihood. It's not likely, but it's the possibility that one can commit an offense. So this is what Thakur is giving us, this chart, showing that until one actually is fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord in love of God, not the tendency, the possibility of committing offenses is still possible. It's still there. So out of all the forms of anarthas, aparads are the most difficult to overcome. But if one practices this one verse from Lord Chaitanya's Shikshastakam, Trinadapi Sunichena Tayor Iva Sahishnuna Amaninam Amanadenam Kirtaniya Sadarahi, one will never commit offenses. This verse is fundamental to the execution of successful devotional service. Practicing humility, tolerance, respect for others, and not asking any respect for oneself. So that's something that's a cultivation of the mood of bhakti, which allows bhakti to grow more and more like that. In that mood, one makes fast advancement. Not just advancement, fast advancement. One can go through the stages very fast when one cultivates this mood of bhakti. So Lord Chaitanya, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami speaks about this in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says that this verse is your ornament. Wear it as your ornament and string it on the necklace of the love of God. And so this is what a devotee wants to practice, these four principles. We practice it. Perfection comes by practice. Perfection comes by chanting the holy names of the Lord and cultivating these moods of bhakti like that. And then one is very unlikely to commit offenses. And even if there is a little offense, it's not so bad. And one can move forward. Okay, so I hope I didn't scare anybody. All of a sudden you're all thinking maybe I'm in the wrong movement. No. It's not that bad. It's actually quite nice. So, and then, of course, now here we go. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, these anarthas lead to the 6 enemies. You can read it on your sheet. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada and Vatsarya. Lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, and envy. These anarthas also beget 6 waves. And what are those waves? Distress, illusion, hunger, thirst, old age, and death. So from the anarthas comes the enemies, from the enemies comes the waves. But then here's the good news. Okay, everyone's waiting for the good news. Here we go. All anarthas, however, go far away by the performance of Nam Sankirtan. Haribol. So one who becomes attached to chanting Nam Sankirtan, not just japa, or not just kirtan, but both, then one can dispel the tendency to commit anarthas, and then these anarthas just go. The power of the holy name can destroy the tendency to commit offenses and destroy those tendencies for material desires, previous karmic activities which could cause sinful tendencies, and ultimately awaken vidya vidhu jivanam, that the knowledge of the Shastras become revealed through the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Goloka Premadan Harinam Sankirtan. This is the gift. Not only a gift, it's not a small thing. It is the bright light in this dark age of Kali. Internally, externally. So one should be eager to chant, eager to what we say, hear the kirtans of the holy name, take part in the kirtans, take part in japa, then gradually one will purify the tendency for all these anarthas. So, but when you're in kirtan, you should know you're in the spiritual world. Right? We just had kirtan, right? It was nice. We're all dancing and chanting. No one's thinking about, you know, prasad, right? Everyone's chanting, dancing. You forgot about, you know, Donald Trump. Everybody's just chanting and dancing. It becomes an absorption. This is the holy name. It forces you into that energy. If you somehow, and when you enthusiastically take part, then your consciousness immediately is lifted up. Your enthusiasm brings about fast results. Okay, so these are the, any questions before I go into the first demon? I'll speak about one demon. How much time do we have? We only have 15 minutes left. Wow.
We can skip the question.
Huh?
Oh, I had a question, but we can
okay.
Save it if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. Question? Yeah.
I just had a quick question about the story you shared about the devotee that was speaking that was disturbed by the ladies
Priya,
chanting.
Yeah.
Would she have also incurred some kind of reaction as well because she was, I guess, performing an action that was...
No, she wanted to, she was listening to the lecture. She was absorbed. She could hear everything he said, but at the same time she could not stop chanting. So this is also a point to understand that when you're chanting the holy names nicely, your attention doesn't become decreased to other things. Chanting broadens one's consciousness. And she's absorbed in that chanting. And she's also hearing the lecture. But he couldn't understand that. He was thinking that she was causing a disturbance in his class. And he wanted attention. He wanted full attention. She was giving him attention. But when she was challenged, because of her natural humility, she didn't try to defend herself. She wasn't saying, oh, wait a minute, you know, you got it wrong, Prabhu. No, she just kept chanting. She was humble. But he got angry. To question her wasn't the offense. When he got angry at her, that was the offense. If he questioned her, and then that was fine, but then he became angry because he felt, yeah, she wasn't listening, but she was. Rupa Kapiraj, that story is floating around, you can hear it. Yeah, it's interesting. Any other questions? Yes, Subal, Prabhu.
I don't know if I missed this because I have to go out a little bit while you were speaking, but in the chart that you gave from the Madhurya Kandambini, in the apparat column, the Anartha Nivriti, now let me see, Nishta, it says that it's pervasive, and in the Vajana Kriya is partial. It seems, at least by the use of words, pervasive means that is
many.
Many. Mm-hmm. Partial means that is less.
One. One.
If you can explain.
Partial, it's interpreted that partial means one, pervasive means many.
So even in the Vajana
almost
Kriya,
complete, there's still something left there.
So it seems that Vajana Kriya, where like many of us are, coming to that stage, or in that stage, and it seems that the offenses are actually pervasive. That's how we experience it, at least myself, I say.
No, it's interpreted differently. It's understood differently. Pervasive means many. Many types of aparat are being destroyed.
Okay. I understand now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And partial means just a few.
I see. I understand. Thank you.
That's how it's explained in the Shastras. Yeah. You can find that in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And there's an explanation of these 5 stages.
Which one is the one that is destroyed in the Vajana Kriya, or the partial ones that are destroyed?
What type of offense? That's not indicated. I never read anything. It could be. It doesn't necessarily have to be a particular type of offense. It could be a different, and many of the different kinds of offenses. It could be to use philosophical speculation, I would think it would be the offenses against the form of the Lord, which seem to be the least of the offenses. Offenses to the holy name are greater, and offenses to other living entities and the Vaishnavas are even greater offenses. Offenses to the form of the Lord is, we don't really know how to, we make mistakes in duty worship. We make offenses on the altar. We make offenses in the temple. That's mentioned in Nectar Devotion. Like if you get angry at a devotee in the temple, if you speak loudly before the deities, if you turn your back to the deities, these are offenses. If you sit with your legs like this, that's an offense in front of the deities. So there's different ways to perform offenses to the form of the Lord. To think of the form of the Lord as material. Offenses to the name are a little stronger. The 10 offenses plus the 11th. And offenses of the Vaishnavas are the most severe, because they cannot be destroyed simply by... You can get rid of the reactions of the offenses to the form of the name, to the form and the name, simply by chanting the name. So if you commit offenses, you can just you can destroy those offenses by chanting. By what we say, continuous chanting. And you can destroy those. But not for Vaishnavas. Even the holy name cannot save you from that. That you have to do on a personal level. It's the most severe form of offense. Yeah, we read in Chaitanya Charitamrita how Srivas Thakur was offended by Gopal Chapala, how Haridas Thakur was offended by Gopal Chakravarti, like that. There's many kinds. How, what's his name? Durvasa Muni, yeah. Jai Haribo, Jai. Shankar Panditji, Hare Krishna, my obeisances. Shankar, yeah, that's one of the most outstanding messages in the Bhagavatam. That particular pastime. That Durvasa, powerful sage, powerful. I mean, he's an expansion of Lord Shiva. He has mystic power. He even knows past, present, and future. But at the same time, because he somehow misunderstood a Vaishnava and found fault with that Vaishnava, he got implicated. And even he was so powerful, he could actually go to Vaikuntha and fall at the feet of Lord Narayan and beg forgiveness. The Lord said, I'm helpless, I can't save you. And then he quoted that famous verse, the pure devotees are in my heart and I'm in the heart of my pure devotees. My pure devotees know no one but me and I know no one but my devotees. So the Lord said, my hands are tied. If you want to free yourself from this offense, you have to go to Ambarish's. And if he forgives you, you can get my mercy. So that's how much the Lord is captured by the love of his devotee. That's why when one offends a devotee, it actually hurts the Lord also. Now, you're a devotee and you offend another devotee, so the Lord is understanding, okay, but still there is a process for relieving that offense. And the process is two. One has to beg forgiveness and one has to offer oneself as service. What service can I do for you? Not just beg forgiveness and say, I'm afraid of getting smashed, so please forgive me. That's not the program. The idea is when you cause someone some distress, there should be some remorse for that. And not because, well, I caused you distress. I don't really care, but I'm really worried about getting kicked because of it. That's not really forgiveness. That's why Krishna didn't forgive Indra right away. When Indra was begging forgiveness for Krishna after trying to kill his residents by pouring all that rain into Vrndavan, Krishna didn't even pay attention to him at first. Oh yeah. Because Indra was just thinking about his own, neck. He was only when he finally came to the point of really seriously feeling that, oh, I caused so much distress. I'm really, from his heart, he was really remorseful. Then Krishna listened to his prayers. Before then, Krishna had no time for him. So that's part of the forgiveness process. And then the other thing is to offer service. What can I do? So. But therefore, devotees, it's easy not to commit offenses if you do one thing. Just always see that every devotee is very important. And if you try to enjoy, you'll commit offenses. If you try to serve, you'll never commit offenses. When we're in the enjoying mood and somebody else is in the enjoying mood, then boom, somehow there could be some friction. I'm enjoying and you're enjoying, and we somehow, our enjoyment don't work together. We clash. But when we're in a mood of service, then it's different. Then you can't commit offenses. So that's Vaishnava culture. So when we dance to serve the Lord, to inspire the devotees. When we manage to please the Lord and keep Krishna's temple going nicely. We do it as a service, not think, well, I'm a manager, I got an office, I got a name, I'll even get a gold plaque, and maybe I'll get a gold watch after 50 years of managing. Something like that. He was looking for the gratuitous part of the program. So that's not, you're not like that. I'm just using just an analogy. So the point is that we do it as a service. And the thing is, bhakti is so nice that the service itself is satisfying. This is the point. If we're just serving for the sake of service, we can find happiness in the service and not in the results. Krishna brings the results. We can't make the results happen. But we can be inspired for the service. Okay. Should I tell a demon story, or is it too late? I don't want to break any rules, no? I might get smashed. Should I tell a story? Yeah, because actually, all right, so this is, Kalia represents brutal cruelty, maliciousness, pride, envy, and a snake-like crookedness. he particularly tries to pour his poison into the hearts of innocent Vaishnavas, which Krishna cannot tolerate. And so the Lord destroys him. According to Garga Samhita, in his last life, during the Manvantar of Swabhubhuva Manu, he was a sage named Vedasira, who was cursed for now allowing another sage, Ashvasira, to meditate in his ashram. You are angry for no reason. You hiss like a snake. Become a snake. Then Lord Vishnu appeared and told him that he would place his lotus feet on his head in that lifetime. So Vedasira took birth as a daughter from the daughter of Daksha called Kadru. Jai Shishi Kishore Kishori Ki Jai. So Krishna was in Vrndavan, and there was a lake called the Kalia lake, which was part of the Jamuna. And there was one snake that was living in that lake. It's called Kalia. Kalia was kicked out of the ocean by Garuda, and he ran to Vrndavan to get free from Garuda. And so he made his residence there. He was a multi-headed serpent. So one day, Krishna and the cowherd boys, they came to the banks of the Jamuna River, and the cowherd boys were thirsty. And they say, oh, look at the Jamuna. It is so nice, and its waters are so thirst-quenching. So all the cowherd boys started to drink the water. But after some time, they felt really bad, and then all of a sudden, they all collapsed. And then it was understood they died. Krishna saw that, and he glanced over his friends, and they all came back to life. And they realized, Krishna brought us back to life. We died. Why did they die? The whole area was polluted, all the waters, by this one serpent called Kalia. And his venom was so strong that even when birds would fly over the lake, the fumes from the poison would rise up and the birds would fall dead. All the trees on the banks of the Jamuna were destroyed, except one. Krishna decided that he was going to do something, so he decided to have some fun. And so he went on one tree, and he got onto the ends of the branch. Now this tree was a special tree. Some people say that when Krishna touched the tree came back to life. Others, in the Garga Samhita, it says that actually Garuda knew that Krishna would take this action in the future, so he poured some nectar on this tree, and the tree was alive. So you see, even the acharyas, they differ. Some say it's like this, some say that. Krishna's pastimes are really a mystery. But anyway, Krishna got up, and he was flapping his arms like a wrestler, and he jumped high in the air, splash into the river. And the river just flowed, and it overflowed its banks, and Krishna was just swimming around, having a good time. Kalia said, what's going on? Somebody's in my lake. This is a disturbance. And he came and he saw this beautiful boy. Kalia has 100 heads. That means he's got 200 eyes. And he was looking. He's beautiful, but still, he's messing up my lake. So Kalia came and captured Krishna in his coils. And Krishna was wrapped in the coils of Kalia. Now the cowherd boys saw this, and then they ran to tell the residents of Vrndavan what happened. But at the same time, as soon as this happened, the whole area changed. Meteors started flying out of the sky, and the whole atmosphere became very, what we say, ill omens started to pervade everywhere. It was a very unhappy feeling. Mother Yasoda, Nanda Maharaj, and all the cowherd boys and the girls, they came. They wanted to find Krishna. Where's Krishna? Krishna's never around. He's not here. We can't find him. So they started to look, and on the ground they found his footprints. And Krishna has these nice footprints. On the bottom of his feet, he's got all auspicious. He's got the gold, he's got a chakra, he's got various types of insignias, lightning bolt, Bali corn, castles, beautiful. Krishna has how many? 32? Shankar Pandit, how many imprints does Krishna have on his bottom of his feet? 32, yeah, that's what I thought. 32. And therefore they followed the footprints and they led right to the Jamuna. Balaram, he understood the whole situation and he was just relaxed. He wasn't gonna, he was just watching the whole thing. But the residents of Vrndavan, Krishna is our life, Krishna is our life of our life. Without Krishna there's no life. We don't even want to exist if there's no Krishna. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dant, Krishna's everything. Krishna's, even when we don't see Krishna, we're not happy. So they cannot stop thinking of Krishna, they cannot stop loving Krishna, they can't stop serving Krishna. So, and then when Mother Yasoda saw Krishna enwrapped in the coils of this hideous snake, she was stunned in fear. And she started to run towards the Jamuna to jump in and try to help. But Balaram stopped her. And then Nanda Maharaj, he wanted to go. And Balaram stopped him too. So everyone was stuck. They were watching Krishna. And then the cowherd, everyone was lamenting, oh, Krishna, he's caught in this hideous snake. What will happen? And then Krishna, realizing that the distress, now Krishna put his devotees into distress. Why does he do that? Why does he, his devotees know nothing but him, and they cannot think of him. What is their fault? No fault at all. He wants to bring out their love. He wants to bring out their love. And so their love was being shown by the anxiety they were feeling for Krishna. So then Krishna said, oh, okay, I guess the anxiety has reached a certain level. So then he just broke out of the coils. And then he started to do a little theatrical performance. He was dancing. So he decided to dance on the hoods of Kalia. And Kalia has 100 hoods. So he was jumping from one hood to another and just trying out some new dance steps. And then the gopis were watching, and Krishna was thinking, this is nice. The gopis are watching me dance. So I'll show off even more. It says that boys like to show off in front of girls, right? This is normal. Yeah, it's true. So boys like to show off in front. So Krishna's got that propensity. He wants to just, so he's dancing, and when Kalia tries to grab him with one hood, he dances on another one. He jumps from this way to that, and Kalia can't. And Krishna's just dancing, but his dancing is not like a sweet caress of the head of Kalia. It's like a thunderbolt hitting his head. Everyone, boom! And it's boom, he's just like falling this way and that way, and he tries to capture Krishna, but Krishna dumps and he's smiling and he's doing all kinds of, special dance steps. Some that they never really saw before. He just comes up with his new steps. He's fast too, and he's dancing, and so this is happening, and Kali is getting weaker and weaker, trying to capture Krishna and crush him, but he can't do it. And finally, he's getting weaker, and then all of a sudden his poison, which is full in his body, is starting to come out, and he's exhaling all these nasty fumes, and they're all coming out, but there he's getting purified, and Krishna's just having a good time dancing. And it's going on and on and on and on and on and on. And finally, at one point, he's got no energy left, and he's still trying to capture Krishna. And this time he's vomiting blood. It's getting really gory now. And all this blood is coming out with the fumes. And then Kalia somehow had a good fortune. He had these nice wives called the Nagapatnis. And so they came and said, "Dear Lord, he's our husband. Please, we know he's a rascal. he's an envious person, but still he's our husband." It's called love. And so they're, pleading with Krishna, and Krishna, just by the sweet prayers, and they offered beautiful prayers to Krishna, Krishna decided to give him some relief. And then Kalia, he didn't kill Kalia, he just beat him down. But he left a nice imprint on his head, and he told Kalia, after Kalia realized that this person who's doing this, he must be God. Nobody else can take care of me in this way. So finally he offered some prayers, and Krishna told him, "Okay, you can't stay here, you have to go. You have to go. You're not allowed to stay in Vrndavan." But he said, "Where am I going to go? Garuda's always after me." Krishna said, "Don't worry, my footprints are on your head, and when Garuda sees that, he'll let you alone. So you can go peacefully." So what does this particular pastime mean? The residents of Vrndavan are innocent, and they open their hearts to anybody sometimes. Sometimes when a person is very innocent in nature, they don't suspect something evil from others because they don't have that tendency in themselves. They see other people in the same way they are. Atmanam Vanyate Jagat. One sees a person according to how one is themselves. One projects. But because of their innocence, they were polluted, apparently polluted by the poison. So what does this indicate? That sometimes unscrupulous persons try to pollute the minds of the devotees against devotional service and teach them wrong principles or teach them philosophical things that are way beyond their normal practice of devotional service in order to gain followers, or just to destroy another person's bhakti. Krishna allows that to go on up to a certain point, and then he comes in, and then he rectifies the situation. And then the devotees see that, they take shelter of Krishna, and then Krishna destroys that tendency. So this particular pastime, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati gives a commentary on this, and he says something really amazing at the end of the commentary. It's published in the Harmonist, and he says, "The mercy shown to Kalia is so obviously and disproportionately great in its magnitude in face of the extreme gravity of Kalia's offense that no rationalistic explanation can do justice to the full beneficent significance." In other words, what Krishna showed him was way beyond what he deserved in terms of the mercy. He tried to pollute the residents of Vrndavan, but still he got the mercy of the Lord. Amazing. 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 That's Krishna. And Krishna, he's tough, stronger than the thunderbolt, but he's also softer than a rose. So that's his discretion. So the mercy he was shown. So this particular pastime means that one who takes shelter and hears this particular pastime will be free from the tendency of maliciousness, enviousness, and cruelty. So these pastimes are actually very what we say, deep in philosophical meanings, along with the actual leelas that play out Krishna's leelas, pastimes, very deep in philosophical meanings. So therefore we should hear these pastimes. Simply by hearing Krishna's pastimes, especially his killing of the demons, there's a class of people that like to hear Krishna's pastimes with his devotees in a sweet way. The pastimes of the gopis and Krishna in Vrndavan, the Rasa Leela, and similar Leelas. But they avoid the demon-killing pastimes. But the Acharyas explain that all of these pastimes are equally transcendental. And therefore, one who hears these pastimes will also become transcendental, although it's about killing demons. These demons are actual factual representations, and at the same time, they also teach us, Krishna teaches us through killing these demons how to destroy sinful and what we say irreligious tendencies like that. So this is about that. So I spoke about Kalia. Tomorrow I'll speak about Dhenukasura and Palambasura in the morning class. That's that for the Bhagavatam class. I know it's a little bit late, so any final comments or questions before we conclude here? Anarthas? Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
His Holiness Candramauli Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for the wonderful class. For the next part of the program, we will be serving a light prasadam dinner upstairs. For those of you not familiar with the temple, just out these doors, to the right and up the stairs. And the next part of the program is 4:30 tomorrow morning for Mangala Arti.